Hi, I'm Shana Graham, and this is my essay called Divorce Season. It's cold, too cold. Ugly, damp, finger-eating cold. My favorite picnic table is dank and soggy, so I've chosen a different bench on the southwest edge of the park, behind that mildew and concrete apartment complex, where a couple shredded blue tarps flap about in pen-like yards, and no one's ever outside. Beneath my bench is an empty 40, and piled, almost neatly, to each side, semi-fresh stacks of cigarette butts. There are no children on the frozen playground. There are no dogs in the park except mine, Dove Bear, and she's very small, and she's shivering. I slipped silent from my corner of our California king bed while he showered this morning. Made him breakfast and coffee, the kitchen bare and bright because we hardly cook anymore. Take our dinners at bar tops where it's someone else's job to talk. I stood with him and smiled while he ate his boiled egg and toast, watched him scroll through his phone. Little Dove jumped at his legs, excited to see him, and he yelled, "No, get down, down. Why does she always have to do that?" And I wondered why I was standing there and why he always had to find something to hate about everything. On a warm night last autumn, at 2 a.m. or so, we walked here together with Dove Bear, sat and smoked on my favorite picnic table. He was high, far too high, and I held him, stroked his arm, talked him down as he catapulted through some anamorphosis of existential dismay and wrongness. And then we saw the bunnies, paused together in the dark, dewy grass near Yesler Way, stealthy and serene in the low mist. One the color of tree bark, and one caramel. The bunnies that had been hanging out on a quiet street corner a few blocks north all summer, lazing under parked cars and hopping about and nibbling on carrots and broccoli left out for them by neighbors. Always together, now magically in our park, magically at this auspicious moment. Dove Bear and I leapt up to visit them, to get as close as we could, wabbit hunting, one of our favorite games. And he was so worried. I recall with surprising and rare tenderness his concern. "Don't chase the bunnies. Be careful, be careful." So sweetly protective of these little creatures in the night, that they might scare and bolt into the street, get run over. Recently, in the bleak of January, Dove and I walked past the bunny's street corner, and there was just one there, Caramel, sitting stolid in the yellowed grass, staring off into the distance. Alone and unmoving, no matter how close we stepped. I'd never before seen one bunny without the other. I'd never before seen one stay so still. Was it reveling in this sublime solitude, or freezing, forsaken? Sometimes it's hard to know the difference, even for yourself. Dove Bear and I walk this way almost every day. Each time we've seen Caramel since, it's been the same. And my sadness about this is inordinate, intimate. What happened to your companion? I want to ask. It's too cold out here for a small, lone bunny. I want to make it breakfast. I want to take it home with me. I want to lift it in my arms, fly us from this street, this park, this bloodless season, and never go home again. This piece, Divorce Season, originated during a dark, cold, and inhospitable season in my life. If place and setting can absorb and reflect our emotions and inner states, why not extend that to seasons? which already carry their own emotional hues and weight. Why not create our own seasons? There's a simple exercise I've done in workshops and that I like to share with students to help them understand the sometimes difficult to grasp concept of moving imagery beyond the literal by using experiential, embodied place as a stepping stone. You visit the same place several times, and each time note what emotion you're feeling at that moment, and then describe what you notice around you through the lens of that emotion. In this case, my park is two different emotional and seasonal galaxies, one in a season of hope, and another in the frozen, bloodless, inhospitable to love and life season of divorce. And those bunnies, all my metaphor and sadness landed in those poor bunnies. I kept this piece intentionally short and spare to let the seasons arise and form from what is noticed. Thank you for listening.